When you drive past the Coakley Middle School, you may notice a lot of construction happening on both sides of the parking lots. Jack McCarthy gets all the details with the latest Coakley Middle School construction update.
It's that time again for this month's progress report on the Coakley Middle School construction. Joining me as always is Bethany King from WT Rich. And Bethany, there's a lot going on.
Yep, we're not stopping out here. Since last month's update, a lot of the same work inside. We're again working CBA, so we're actively in every single zone, doing different stuff. So right now we're physically standing in Zone C, which is the furthest along. You can see drywall on the wall, ceiling, grid is up, infrastructure in the walls, done some paint and tile going on. So lots inside the building. And as the town probably has seen, as soon as school wrapped up this past spring, we immediately started in what we were calling Configuration 4, which is the time we had to work in the parking lots. There's a lot of infrastructure that has to make its way to Washington Street, and a lot of underground drainage and sewers that go under those future parking lots. So we are actively in both sides of the site, working our way to Washington Street, doing a lot of time. So we appreciate the public's support with us and patience. There's a lot of temporary paths to get to the various fields around the campus. We try to have enough signs up with our maps, but yeah, that's a constant plan here that we're trying to execute.
Yeah, and it's funny because we walked by coming in here, we saw all the pipes and all that stuff, and it's stuff that it's almost unappreciated, in that you'll never see it again once it's done. Yep. It's like putting on a new roof. You'll see the roof, but you don't get any charge out of it. But without it, you can't do the rest of the work.
There's a lot that goes under those parking lots for sure, and similarly in these walls. Like before this drywall was up, there is a lot of infrastructure, wiring, piping in these walls that bring your power to the various boxes, right? So that's all the stuff we're doing behind the scenes here.
So, I mean, you are on a tight time frame to get all that done. How's it going?
It's going well. Yep, we're forecasting positively with the schedule. We've run into a few hiccups here or there, but in general we're still on track. Our site work contractor here is a company called Quigley, and their foreman here has been here since the start. He's been great working with us. So they're working long hours. They're working some Saturdays to try and get this work done. Our current plan is August 28th is the first day that the teachers are back. Our plan is to be out of your hair by then and have the fences back the way they were last school year.
Yeah, this is always a precarious time, if you will, because you're digging into the ground, and there is some uncertainty as to what you might find. Have you had any surprises?
A little bit, but nothing drastic. There's a few things here or there. We just had to, on the fly, work with the design team and work with the OPM to fix to make sure the existing school can stay operational until we actually have to demolish that in a year. So, but again, we've been flagging those as they come up, and we've been handling them as we go.
And I think that's, this is a little inside, in the weeds, but I think that's one of the beauties of that this is a construction manager at risk project. We're able to do things more on the fly like that.
Exactly, yes. We have full-time staff here every day, and Vertex for the OPM does as well. We have weekly meetings with Alan Slater, the building committee chair, and Paul Riccardi and Chris and the whole team there. So yeah, we're trying to stay in touch with the town very frequently to keep everyone on the same page and keep the schedule moving and everything on budget.
Okay. Has there been any big surprises, or what's the biggest surprise? And hopefully it's not that big.
Honestly, not a ton of huge surprises, just little things here or there, right? When you dive into certain drawings that, oh, we wanted this tool under that, so we gotta remake some glass, or oh shoot, we broke this glass over, like little things like that we've been fixing. But no, there hasn't. No, you're jinxing us here. I gotta find some wood here, right? But no, nothing major.
All right, so let's just get back to where we are now. So this is basically a basic classroom, I believe.
It is. We're actually treating this room specifically as our mock-up space, so arguably it's the furthest along. You can see some light fixtures starting to get hung here. There's some yellow paint on the wall that I'm sure they'll pan over to. So, yeah, this room is the furthest along. Actually, Luke will talk about some of the upcoming finishes, but Zone C is right on track. Being able to follow here soon.
All right, so I'm looking up here at this black pipe. I'm going to guess it's sprinkled.
My testament.
Yeah.
Yes, it's sprinkler pipe.
All right, I'm going to quit there.
Please, no. I'm just kidding. But no, everything, yeah, above the ceiling, it's an example of what I was trying to say in the wall, right?
Yeah.
There is a lot of infrastructure. You see the ductwork bringing air to the spaces, right? You see a lot of MC cabling, bring the electrical, right? There's a lot of low voltage wiring. There's a lot above these ceilings that the intent is to be hidden from view, but bring your infrastructure to these classrooms as designed.
Yeah. Well, it's very cool. I'm glad that we're able to give the community a glimpse of what's going on, because once it's buttoned up, they don't know what's going on in here, and so it's great to have you tell us what's going on, even though we're right here. It's not as obvious as you would think of what's actually happening.
Yeah, it's great every month to check in and see the progress. And the other thing we do behind the scenes here too is we do a lot of quality control checks, and we make sure what's supposed to go in the wall is in the wall, right? And we have what's called an open space camera. It's a 360-degree camera that we walk around twice a week and take pictures of this building. So every little step and everything that goes in these walls, we're documenting for the team as well. So there's a lot happening behind the scenes. When you come into a nice room like this, it looks nice, it looks finished. We're getting there, and that is the goal of the project.
That's great. All right, so I think you've covered everything we want to cover right now, right?
Perfect.
Okay, so we'll be back with Luke Arpone from Vertex in just a second. As promised, I'm back with Luke Arpone from Vertex. One of these days I'm going to say the old name. And so we're in the classroom. So what's this going to look like when it's all done?
Sure, so this will be a classroom on the second floor in Area C. Over here, next to the door over here, we'll see some cabinets coming in, some casework. That's probably the next major subcontract that's going to start on site in the next couple of weeks. They're anticipated to be on site end of the month, early August. Like I said, to begin install casework. And then we will see flooring subcontractor follow in right behind them to start installing flooring on this floor in Area C, and also in some of the bathrooms that are a little further along. Then we will begin to see lockers to be installed in the corridors, and then we'll just keep moving on from Area C into Area B, and then eventually into Area A.
It's funny that you put lockers in, and everybody does, but I know at the high school, very few kids actually use their lockers. It's one of those weird things that when I was in school, you'd carry one book to one class, but maybe the buildings are too big and they can't get that quick.
It seemed like that was a trend probably when I was in high school. It seemed like everybody's backpacks got a little bit bigger, less time at the locker, and more stuff in the bags. But try to alleviate some of that here with some locker space for the students.
So it's crunch time now, as Bethany said, because you have to get all the infrastructure stuff outside done before school.
Yep.
How's that looking?
Great.
Tell me what we should expect to see over the next 6 or so weeks.
Sure. So outside would just be a little bit more of the same. With the parking lot over by the tennis courts, that lot actually comes up significantly from the existing grade. You can see there's a retaining wall that's been built out there now that will support the ground away from the tennis court, so that's coming up. As they broaden that up, they're also digging the trench for utilities, and they're digging the trench, laying the conduit, encasing it with concrete, and backfilling that as they go. So they're doing sections at a time, and they're moving away from Washington Street closer to the school. And the same is occurring over on the other side of the Little League field. Over in that lot right now, that's going to be spread out in grade for the subgrade over there over the next few weeks. So there's a huge pile of dirt that will disappear over the next month.
One of the things that I've noticed, it was a little difficult for us to get around,
Sure.
meaning the routes are different. So for people at home that have to go to the football field or the soccer field or the Little League field, what should they look for when they come up?
Sure. So we've constructed some temporary pathways from Washington Street to both the tennis courts and the Little League fields. There's plenty of signage out there now to direct folks to and from those fields. So we ask that they pay attention to that signage, but their access is as it was pre us being here on the site. So
Yeah, it's just a different way to get there. Yeah, and as Lou said, please pay attention to the signs. You don't want to go in the wrong place because it can be very dangerous for both the people working and more importantly for you, for yourself. So, anything else?
That's it.
Okay, well, that wraps up this update of the Coakley Middle School project. Thanks to Bethany and to Luke, and we'll be back with more digest right after this.
Thank you.